I came into the field very, very optimistic about what could be done because I knew that psychotherapeutic techniques were very powerful and very effective. So I was astonished.
If the body is biochemically balanced.
That's right. If the nutrients are available to allow the body to be biochemically balanced, allow the brain to produce normal amounts of positive moods, then psychotherapy can liberate. So people mustn't feel guilty that they go to psychotherapy and it doesn't work. They mustn't feel guilty that they finally succumb to the recommendations to use antidepressants. They need help. They just don't know that there are alternatives that are safer and more effective for most people.
So they can be weaned off these drugs with terrible side effects.
Yes. The nutrients that build up the brain's optimal capacity to generate mood, these same nutrients can protect the brain during the process of withdrawal from antidepressant drugs. As a matter of fact, I didn't know that there were withdrawal symptoms from antidepressant drugs like Prozac and Zoloft until a couple of years ago, because we had had many people come here on those drugs, and we had successfully withdrawn our clients from the antidepressants with no side effects whatsoever. So it wasn't until I began to read about the terrible withdrawal effects that so many people experienced that I further appreciated the power and the benefits of the amino acid supplements.
That's very interesting. So you can take them off the drugs painlessly?
2002, there were 43 million people on antidepressant drugs like Prozac in that same family or similar families of antidepressant medications. And
43 million?
Yes.
That's a quarter of our population.
Yes, a quarter of our population. 2002, the British government sounded an alarm about the use of antidepressant drugs, specifically Paxil at that time, with children and adolescents, finding that the incidence of suicidal thinking and even attempts was increased by the use of these drugs rather than decreased. Over the next 3 years, more and more information was uncovered, both in the UK and then subsequently in the US, about the whole family of drugs, the SSRIs and the SSNIs.
What does SSRI mean?
It means selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
So what does that mean?
What it means is that these drugs select serotonin-producing cells. That's the selective part. That's the serotonin part. The part of the brain that produces serotonin is selected by these drugs as a target. And what these drugs do to these cells is to inhibit or slow down their ability to put the serotonin molecules into storage. It forces the cell to keep the serotonin molecules active at all times, rather than allow it to pursue its usual rhythm of activity, inactivity, or reuptake, activity, inactivity. Instead of that, the person may only have a few molecules of serotonin, and if they're all forced into activity at the same time, it gives them the illusion that they have more.
It's like having mirrors.
Yes. And it is a life-saving help for people who don't know there are any other alternatives.
But what you're doing is you're feeding the precursors to produce serotonin within their body.
That's right. The nutrients are used by the cell to create more serotonin molecules.
You're going to the cause. And you're curing, really, rather than masking.
We're curing the deficiency. So what isn't known about low serotonin style depression is that it's primarily the result of a deficiency of serotonin molecules in the brain.